Reveals al-Qaeda's chilling desire to derail a train on the 10th anniversary of 9/11. Federal officials warning U.S. railways to be on alert after uncovering key intel.
And the information uncovered during the raid at Osama bin Laden's Pakistani compound, and it comes on the day President Obama visited Ground Zero. Brandi Hitt has more on the emotional reunion and the al-Qaeda plan. Brandi?
Cher, thanks to intel taken from the Osama bin Laden compound, we learned the target date for these train attacks, and it was the 10-year anniversary of 9/11.
Information taken from Osama bin Laden's home details plans to derail U.S. trains by placing objects on the tracks. A U.S. law enforcement source tells CNN no specific rail system was identified, but the plan was to be executed on the 10th anniversary of 9/11. Today in New York, President Obama paused to honor the victims of 9/11. He laid a wreath at Ground Zero and met privately with the victims' families. The president also stopped by the Engine 54 firehouse, which lost 15 firefighters.
This is a symbolic site of the extraordinary sacrifice that was made on that terrible day.
So for him to come here and to see the faces of the firefighters that were killed on September 11th and to see the shrine that was erected in their honor really meant something to him.
The president's visit comes 24 hours after announcing he will not release the death photos of Osama bin Laden. Some say those photos would offer closure and send a message.
This is what happens at the end to someone who threatens Americans and who kills Americans.
We're also learning more about Sunday's mission. U.S. forces chose to go in on Sunday because there was little moonlight to hide their approach. And the first door they opened actually opened up to a brick wall. They found another door and came under fire on the first floor. After killing the gunman, they moved up the stairs, killing bin Laden's son, another man, and eventually bin Laden, who had an AK-47 in his room, but not in his hand.
There were arms directly near the door, and my understanding is he was right there and going to get those arms.
One Navy SEAL even got on the ground lying next to bin Laden's body so they could verify his height.
And President Obama will be meeting privately with those Navy SEALs tomorrow. Coming up at 6:30, we're going to be taking you live to Ground Zero in New York City to get New Yorkers' reaction to the president's visit. Live in the newsroom, Brandi Hitt, KTLA 5 News. Cher, back to you.
All right,
I'm
Brandi.
Micah Ullman. We begin tonight with this major development. KTLA's Brandi Hitt live with new information seized from bin Laden's compound. Brandi.
Micah and Cher, it did not take long, only a couple of days for U.S. officials to dig through this intel and find an al-Qaeda plot to attack U.S. trains. Officials say the target date was the 10-year anniversary of 9/11.
Destroy and derail U.S. trains. Just like in London and Madrid, U.S. officials say this is what al-Qaeda was plotting to do here in the U.S. Written notes taken from Osama bin Laden's compound Sunday included plans to tamper with train tracks in the United States or place objects on the tracks.
And I'd be careful to categorize the next attack as retaliation. We're still in the crosshairs of these radicals.
And U.S. officials say other intel taken from the compound shows al-Qaeda had its sights set on Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, and Washington for other potential attacks, with these dates highlighted: the 9/11 anniversary, Christmas, 4th of July, and opening day of the United Nations. With President Obama refusing to release a photo of bin Laden's body, a retired Pakistani army general believes the mission that killed him is a lie.
I think he died. He perished some years ago, and I think this was a story which was created.
But U.S. officials are releasing more details about the mission. For example, they chose Sunday to go in because there was little moonlight hiding their approach. The first door they entered led to a brick wall. And when they found bin Laden on the top floor, he had an AK-47 in his room, but not in his hand.
There were arms directly near the door, and my understanding is he was right there and going to get those arms.
One SEAL even got on the ground lying next to bin Laden's body to verify his height before they carried that body away.
And President Obama will be meeting with those Navy SEALs privately tomorrow. Brandi Hitt, KTLA 5 News. Cher and Micah, back to you.
Brandi, thank you. And as Brandi just mentioned, one of